Okay, we are back. We're back. Yes. Yes, yes. Welcome to another great episode of Kendra's Corner. For the ones who do not know what this podcast is about, it's about me asking random polling questions that I had just cultivate from talking to people on social media, uh watching interviews, whatever it might be. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have got to go ahead and hit the streets with this. I gotta hit the streets, right? So, with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you all tuning in, listen to what I got to say, listen to what my guests have to say, the crowd, the fans, the everything. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And without further ado, got to bring my guy to the stage, man. This. I don't know what I can say about him. He's amazing. He always sits here and keeps it real. He might say something that's gonna get you like, he really just said that. What? But you know what? Y'all gonna appreciate it, man. Y'all gonna appreciate it. Just like the time when y'all's parents used to sit here and grab you by the arm. And when they had the time to mollywop you, they just like in that circle, like grab you by the arm and mollywop you, whoop you in that circle with that belt. And I'm pretty sure the pimp done did this with a few of his kids. All right, and probably some other people's kids. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the pimp to the stage. How many times did you grab Spike's child or your child, grab them by the arm, and then when they moving, you just smacking them with your belt and everything?
Hey, everybody parents told me, shut it up, don't start. I'm sorry, y'all. Everybody parents told me, look, do whatever you got to do when they in your possession. They your kids, so you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? But honestly, myself, I didn't have to whip my children. I take what they like. I take what they love, and they get their business straight. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
You guys, you my children right now. I probably with one or two of them for really getting down bad. But for the most part, I take what they love, and they had to get that act right out of it.
What happened? What ended up happening where you had to whoop them?
They
What
had to get
happened?
out of bed. My daughter was being
Yeah.
rebellious. She went through a little stage of smelling herself, and couldn't nobody tell her nothing. Not the teachers, the coach, the mom. You know what I'm saying? But they know when they call me, they gonna get action. So I'm the last resort because I do kind of go overboard. You know what I mean? But when I do get the call, I'm coming, and I'm gonna get some act right. So I had to go to the school and kind of get her mind right up there in front of people. So, but we didn't have that problem anymore. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
'Cause my
Come
mom and
on now.
dad, my mom and dad was like, wherever you act a fool at, that's where your ass gonna get it at. So that's what I had to go
Oh,
back to. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
how it should be. That's how it should be. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times parents don't do that anymore. So, but
Absolutely, absolutely.
before we start, I want to say a couple things. Let me start off with this. I noticed that women that miss being hoes, they usually join motorcycle clubs. All right, and
Come on.
also, ladies, why do y'all let men buy y'all purses and shoes when you know you need a couch? Okay, so let me go ahead and get started with this week's. I'm just saying, stupid. Like that empty house that needs some furniture and whatnot. Let
You
me
can
go
ask for a
ahead.
lot more.
I mean, come on now, come on. Like, I'm tired. I'm coming around. I'm sitting, having to sit on your blow-up bed in the middle of the hallway and everything else like that. Ain't no food up in the fridge and everything. Come on now, yo, get your priorities straight. All right, so let me go ahead and let's go ahead and do this week's random polling questions, and we're gonna hit it biblically. Gonna hit it biblically and everything.
Okay.
So I was reading Jeremiah 23:16, verse 23:16, chapter 23, verses 16 through 21. And in these verses, it speaks on not believing false prophets who will speak visions from their own minds and not from the voice of Yahweh, which is God in Hebrew. Okay. So here's a question for
Mhm.
you. What was a vision that someone told you that never came to pass?
I've had a couple of people tell me a couple of things. It hasn't come to pass, but I'm very particular over who I let speak, things over my life and who I, accept things from. So that's number one. Everybody needs to be aware that everybody don't have your best interests at heart. Just because they may speak good in your face doesn't mean that when they, not in your face, that things don't change and they don't turn around and start saying some more negative things or whatnot. But my mom has a real close friend that actually is my sister's first child's father. Her grandmother and my mom are very good friends. And the very first time she met me, she like stopped in the middle of the conversation talking to my mom. She was like, "Hold up, you a preacher or something?" And I was like shocked. I'm like, "No, ma'am, I'm not." She was like, "You supposed to be in the pulpit somewhere. You supposed to be preaching the word." I say, "Well, if God wants it from me, I'm gonna try to open myself up to it." Back then I was still in the streets a lot, so people that were more spiritual probably could see more over my life than I could, at the time. But I can't say that that's not the very first time I've heard that. A couple of other people in the spiritual world have also told me that I need to be somewhere preaching or teaching the word in some shape, form, or fashion. It hasn't came to pass, but I do put myself into the spiritual realm and try to teach and talk to people about it. I like to refer to myself as a minister more than anything because I try to minister the word to people. I try to draw people to God or to the church home or to preachers and then let them take over. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he wants of me. And I feel like my testimony is more than enough for anybody to choose God. Trust me.
What is the difference? Do you feel is the difference between the title minister, preacher, and bishop?
Growing up, we were Baptists, of course, so we had a preacher, and for all of my younger days, that's all I knew about was a preacher. But as I grew older and got into the bishops and the other stuff, um, I really don't like to specify because God has His own people to do whatever He wants them to do, whatever they're calling on. But to myself personally, ministering is not so far in depth as to go so far as into stating so much out of the Bible, referring to the Bible so much. I can tell you a lot about the Bible, but I can't tell you exactly where to go get it from. But if you say something, I can tell you, no, that's not quite right. You know what I'm saying? Or if I need to refer to something, I can tell you, well, this is what the word says. You know what I'm saying? So, I can do that, but at the same time, I think preaching is more getting in depth. You give scenarios, and then you break it down spiritually. You back it with biblical facts. You back it with verses and truths. And the bishops and co-pastors and all that, I think they just fall up under the main rule of the pastor of the church. We had a bishop at one church, and then he had what he called uh, the little under pastors or whatnot. I had 4 or 5 different under pastors, but they were for different sides of the city. So if you stayed on whatever side of the city that particular pastor stayed on, that's who you would connect with because he could get to you faster, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? So to
Yeah.
me, the bishop was just the head, and then the co-pastors were just under him, just for a title, in my opinion. Far as the biblical verses of it or the biblical definitions of it or whatever, like I say, I just think ministering is just really just talking about it, telling about it, speaking about it, um, testimonials and so on and so forth, praying for, all of that. And then when you get into the teaching and the preaching and the bagging up with facts and stuff, that's when you get into the preaching and stuff like that. And again, bishop and preacher to me are the same thing.
Okay. Pops, welcome.
What's
How
up,
Tabernacle.
you
guys? What's up,
doing?
guys? You doing all right today?
What's happening, people? What's happening?
Well,
All right,
pops,
all
Sorry,
right.
let
sorry I
me
came in
go.
so late. I,
It's
I
it's
was
no.
cooking for the family, and then I seen an email, and it was like a reminder. I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now." So try to do my little
Listen,
cooking and try to get to it. I mean,
listen. Hey, family man. Well, pause. Let me go ahead and say this to you real quick, and I'm gonna ask you the question, or I just want to, I want to try to incorporate something. I just said something earlier, with two jokes. I said let me go hit since you're the third person. Let me hit a third joke, right? So here, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this. If she snores throughout the night, but wakes up whenever you move, she's crazy. Have y'all ever dealt with a woman who's like that?
no, I don't think I've encountered such a thing. Like if you snore and you wake up every time, that is psycho. So I definitely agree with that. That is
Okay. Well, hey, let me go ahead and ask you this random polling question. So, Pim just answered it. So basically, we hitting it biblical this week. I think you got a chance to look over them. So the first question is me reading Jeremiah 23:16 through 21, and in the verses it speaks on not believing false prophets. So, who was somebody who spoke this vision quotation marks from God Yahweh, and that vision never came to pass? What was that vision that somebody claimed that was gonna happen to you, and it never came to pass?
I don't think it's just one person. I think multiple people. Like I said, I was like a partial pretty boy, so everybody just knew I was going to be somewhat of a next Tyson Beckford. See what I'm saying?
What?
You would have
What?
to know me in the late '90s to understand that that was possible. Okay,
God.
so
Oh
yes, a lot
God.
of people said, "Hey, you're going to be the next Tyson Beckford. You're beautiful. Your skin." Cause back in the day, dark skinned dudes got a lot of flack because light skin was in.
Hmm.
I know. I don't know. I know if you would probably remember that. Like all the light skinned dudes was from H Town to the two background dancers in Jodeci. I mean, you had KC and JoJo. I remember going to a concert with Jodeci, KC and JoJo, and the other two. What was Devontae and whatever their name? But at the concert, they was like KC. The crowd was like, yeah. They was like JoJo. Okay, yeah, the crowd. They said Devontae, the little light skinned dude, to suck the pacifier in his 30s. The crowd started going crazy. And then I forgot the other one. I was like, they got pacifiers and Pampers on their shoes and condoms. Casey and JoJo was the main ones singing. So, but I was like a
Oh
rare enigma. I was like, they was like, you're rare to be dark skinned because and pretty. They was like dark skinned dudes didn't get too much play back in the day unless you was pimping, like my man's up there. You know what I'm saying? The
God.
'90s was very, very brutal on dark
If you
skinned
weren't if
dudes.
you weren't on that Elder Bars tip, you wouldn't get no action, fam. You
Yeah,
know,
they love that Elder Barge.
pretty boy type. Yeah,
Who else was light skinned? Albie Shore,
LL Cool J,
LL Cool J, lip licking light skinned. That you had to
Will
be of
Smith?
that degree. Will
Pimp
Smith, he got
C.
to look. Pimp C, you know what I'm saying? You had to be light skinned back in the day. Only
Yes,
people
sir.
that
You
put us,
had to be.
we didn't start getting like into it until Stella got her groove back and more chestnut the actors. The actors
Was
kind of
black,
put us in the
dark
game.
skinned black. Yep, and
Yeah,
and
when
and,
Stella
and
got her
Tyler Perry popped in like, mm-hmm.
yeah, so when Stella got her groove back, everybody was feeling Winston. Then more Chestnut started doing a lot of acting. So they was like, oh, you know what, bro, dark skinned dudes are kind of cute. So, but when I was first coming up, they was like, you're going to be the first real, like, you're going to be like Tyson Bedford. But I just like, every year I just got fatter after they started. I was like, no, I'm going the wrong way. You know what I mean? So it
That's
never came.
funny.
So I was
I did
upset
not
about that.
know. I did not know.
Yes, your pops was a
I
heartbreaker back in the day. I know I
listen,
got belly
listen,
now, but trust
listen.
you know
No,
how
I
Mace.
could tell, pops. I know. That's why I was like, how many kids do you really have out there, man? I listen.
Hey, I got four in a pot. It's like a spade game.
You say like a spade game.
I've been saying that type shit for years. I've been saying it for years, my nigga. Shit, I got 500 possible, my nigga. You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
talking about? Hey, I know like a lot of brothers staying on social media right now. They like, I don't know if I got kids. I don't want them to find me. I'm like, you ain't got no social media. Like, nope, I don't want no kids looking for me.
Come
So,
on, man.
Man, I'm some
Well,
pookie. Sorry,
anybody that
pookie
I done
type
dealt with,
cat.
they kids mine too. So shit, I got about 50 of them. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that I done dealt with, they baggage became my baggage. You know what I'm saying? And just because I don't mess with their moms and shit, don't what I mean. The kids can't still, address me like that. I got a lot of kids around here that, what's up, pops? What's up, pops? Hey, dad. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
yeah, I used to kind of be like that. I know I talked to a chick before we had kids, but when she left, she took the kids and it was like no communication. So after that, I kind of
Aw.
changed my mind because I was taking care. She worked for the railroad, so I was basically taking care of the kids while she was running around. But she just up on one day and just took them. So I like, you know what? I ain't getting attached to nobody else's kids. This is my kids, or that's it. You know what I mean?
Wait,
For some
I
reason,
got a question. Oh, wait, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Finish up, pops. Finish. You said for
No,
some
go
reason.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I forget. I'm old now. Go ahead.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Here's a question. Here's a question. So, I guess whoever wants to answer first, it doesn't matter. Um, what's the most amount of kids that you remember a woman having that you were seriously dating at one time? Whoever wants to answer first, it doesn't matter.
4. It was 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was 4. This is pre Kevin Samuels. If I would have tried to date her after Kevin Samuels, I definitely would, because everything Kevin Samuels preached, it happened. So no. So I mean, I got 4 kids too. That's crazy, right?
Wait, were they 4 kids by 4 different men or by the same man?
Yep.
Okay.
No, it's 3 different. 3 different. Yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah. I mean,
hey,
back then we didn't know no better. We
what do you mean
didn't
didn't
know
know no
any better.
better?
Hey, are
How
you
is that not knowing no better?
Hey,
It's li-
Hey, are you listening?
okay. I'm
But
sorry.
we
Go ahead.
don't judge.
It's okay. It's not about not knowing no better. There's okay. So here's my question: why is it that a lot of men are going to sit here and you guys want us to date y'all if y'all have 10, 15 kids? But it's a problem if we have 7, 8 kids by 7, 8 different men. I don't understand that. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you first. I had a chick I was messing with. The bitch had like 7 or 8 kids, I think. 8 kids, I think. And I use
Damn.
that term loosely. Don't nobody hold that bitch word to me because I don't talk to people like that, and I don't call women bitches and stuff. It's
Hey,
just real loose
if
talk
you
right
if
now.
you if you grew up on Too Short, you get a pass.
You get a pass, and I'm blowing the whistle, my nigga. I'm blowing the whistle. You hear me? So anyway, but she had them by I think it was 3 different guys or whatever, but she was real nice, real cute little something. We clicked. She thought we was in a relationship, but me, not so much. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that was too much for me. Um, I got a thing I look at these days as in myself, like, you know how many times you have sex with a person to get them pregnant?
Nah.
I'd have been with a
It
person
only take one
probably,
time.
it only take one time, but how many times have you been with a person that they did not get pregnant? I done fucked
That's
with a
true.
chick for years, my nigga, and hit her for years and never got her pregnant.
Y'all,
Never.
y'all DNA
And
didn't
I
match
ain't
up.
talking about, I ain't saying no protection, none of that. It just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I
So
got one of those
imagine how
too.
many other people that person had been with that didn't get a child by them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then you look at the women that you do have children by. I know how many times I done been with my ex-wife and I had one child by her. We was together 14, 15 years.
Wow. Really?
That's a lot of miles to me. You see what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you're talking about a bitch having 6, 7, 8 kids, you talking 1,000 apiece at the least.
You said
Shit,
you
1,000
said
apiece at the least. If you're in a relationship with a real nigga, y'all gonna get out. You know what I'm saying?
said
That's a
the
lot of
complex
miles.
on
That's
that ain't
all I'm saying. That's a
complexing.
lot of miles. That's a lot of miles.
So you got a check
So,
engine light on that, huh?
yeah, you gotta see. That's a lot of miles to me. You know, I ain't looking at the fact of how many kids it is. I'm looking at the fact of how many times did they miss.
I got you. I got you.
You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know, it's the missing times that you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't. You know, I ain't been so fortunate to be a hole in one. You know, I ain't got with nobody one time and boom, it happened and they was pregnant. It ain't never happened to me. I ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
no, you still having no them type of kids. Back then it was all right. I was in that world, but after I got 25, 28, you know what I'm saying? Shit, them miles started being a factor in my mind. Like shit, bitch, you got some miles on you, fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
I
trading you in
mean,
for a new mile.
I'm gonna say even for me, I had to slow down. So I think like when I read something like the soul ties and the spirits, it's like I thought it was true because I'm like, dang, I got some of their personality. You know what I mean? I started doing
Mm-hmm.
acting like them a little bit. Whatever evil stuff they did, I started doing that. You know what I mean?
It's
I'm
real.
like, man,
Soul
Mm-hmm.
ties are real.
yeah.
I
So
think
you,
I
Man,
think people
when you
people
when
people
you
they
so
underestimate it, and that's why to me it's just disgusting coming across men
they
who don't
do.
have penis discipline. Like, bro, you
Oh
should
my
okay,
god.
even if you don't want to wait until marriage, like find one woman and then settle down with that one woman. Not you have her, then you got Tisha on Tuesday. Then after Tisha on Tuesday, same day is Bree. After Bree is Brittany. The same day, like I have seen this cycle where I'm like, how do y'all men have time for this? Like six women, different women in the same day. Like you don't have work. You don't like. How do you have time to keep up? Like, bro, like what the heck? Anyway, let me
not
go.
just don't just say it's men because
I'm
I've
just saying
ran
people in
Because
into
general. I'm
women
saying
got them
women too.
trophies.
No, no,
Women
no, no.
got them
Women
trophies
too.
too.
People in general. People in general. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
they
like, I don't
got
know
them
how
trophies
people have
too.
that
because
energy. I don't know how
I
they have
made the
that
mistake
energy.
of going through somebody's phone before. They kept asking me for $20. I'm like, all right, come through and get it. They wanted the bad phone. I'm like, let me go to this motherfucker's phone. My right
Don't
hand,
do it.
the left
Don't do
hand.
it.
It was about like 20 dudes. She asked for $20. That
And,
was
and probably got
Ooh,
every 20 she asked for.
ooh,
they got it probably
ooh,
got every last.
ooh.
She got 20 or more from each one she asked for, fam.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
and if you busting it
I
down
ain't
for the
never
dub,
going through no phone, cuz I
I
ain't never going through no phone.
you bust everybody else down for the dub. So
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah. But
Maybe
you know
not. She
me,
probably just had a good conversation with him.
back in
not
the
for no.
days when they asked me for money, I tell them
$20.
straight up I got some on it. You know, I ain't your dude or whatever, but I got some on it. I know you need to get some 5 or 10 from homie, 10 or 15 from home, and I got my 5 or 10. You see what I'm saying? You
Right.
know, don't think I'm gonna foot the bill for everybody. Can't have like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was way back, way back. But nowadays, on the sacred tip, you talk about spiritualism and everything today, Kyndra. So I feel the most sacred thing between a man and a woman is the sexual togetherness. Okay, the physical part of it. Men need to realize that a woman is actually opening up herself for you to come inside. Okay, when you come inside, you becoming a warm piece. You see what I'm saying? So whatever that woman got going on, it may not all be physical or sexual, my friend. It's gonna be some other shit that's gonna come in with it that's gonna rub on you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that shit
Hmm.
that you got going on, it's gonna rub off in her too. So, like you say, you're gonna start having those things that start interacting with each other. But what's gonna happen is everybody else that person been attached to, dealing with, fucking with, and everything else, those demons travel with them as well. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So when you start
Facts.
putting yourself in everybody else's business, you gotta worry about yourself, who you sleeping with, and who they sleeping with, and who they may be sleeping with, and them two on the other end. At the same time, the chick who she's sleeping with and who he might be sleeping with at home and who his girl might be sleeping with. You got 12, 15, 16, 20 people in your equation for trying to have a 5 or 10 minute little, rendezvous. You know what I'm saying? And all those demons start attacking you at one time, fam. You don't know whether you're going to come. You don't know whether you like this bitch, you hate this hoe. You know what I'm saying? You want to marry this bitch, you want to kill her. You don't know what the fuck you want to do because it's all about all those different, innuendos coming in your play. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
very, very true.
I don't dig it. The older I have gotten, the less I ever, I feel about just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying?
That maturity
It's a
kicked
real big
in.
picture to me. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
real big picture to me now, and it's so much more to it than just saying shit. I'm finna go bang this bitch up. You know what I'm saying? No,
yeah.
you finna put some baggage on you, fam. Is you ready to take this baggage with you for a while, or you just, you know what I'm saying? You want this shit to just be leeching out for you and plucking on you and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus, we too old to be in the clinic getting a Q-tip. That Q-tip
Itchy
is a mug.
motherfucker. Itchy,
That
right?
Q.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Let me
about they
answer
got to
this
strap.
question.
I'm talking about they got to
Let me
strap me
answer.
down. They like, hold, stay still. I'm like, no. They like, I'm like,
Let me. Let
The
me.
big ass needles
Let
is
me.
good.
Let me answer this question so we can go to question 2. So let's see. I remember there was one woman. I don't remember her name, but I remember she was my coworker. This was probably like 6 years ago. This is my coworker, and she said, "You're gonna be married by this time, like later this year or next year." I said, "Oh, really? Right?" And I said, "Okay." I said, "Where am I gonna meet him?" And she's like, "You're gonna meet him like at a restaurant." I said, "Oh my gosh!" Now, mind you, she didn't. I didn't notice that. Didn't know that she didn't have no like top teeth. She always like she was able to somehow hide. Like she was able to talk so perfectly like this. And I was like, maybe because she was drinking those $1 margaritas from Applebee's. That's why she's missing a front row of teeth. I
so
could
they took
not
out a whole
understand.
grill.
Like but I just remember I said, okay, for every single, I think every other week I was at a different restaurant looking for a different guy. Now, my waiter, who wasn't that he was not the best looking, he asked me for my number, and I'm like, I know she probably ain't talking about him. He actually forgot the ice. I said no ice in my water, and he forgot to about that. I have a problem about that. You can't even listen to something as simple as that. You can't be my man. So I told him no anyway,
No, he
right?
was mesmerized. You made him forget. You can't do that. You made him forget that. You know what I'm saying? He was thinking
Listen,
about
Yeah,
something else.
I
yeah.
don't
You got to
care.
think about something
So
else. She probably went in there with no cleavage, all type of
no,
Yeah, he
stuff.
I
probably
don't.
had that thing
No,
hanging out everything.
no,
Yeah, man.
no,
Dude, fucked up in
no.
the head. He probably thought he was doing you some justice. He probably gave you extra ice, goddamn.
Right,
So,
right. She
but
probably
no,
got half her bill off. She ain't telling the rest of the story.
You feel me?
no, I did not. I thought, you
Right.
know what? I thought he
Free
was
meal
gonna
and
give me.
everything. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna end up giving me. No, he didn't. I still had to pay the full amount. I gave him a nice tip though. But anyway, so it never happened. She's like, I wasn't talking about a rat. It could be at Subway. I literally kept trying. I was like, she doesn't know what she's
At
talking.
Subway,
And
you
she
was gonna
said,
get
and
two
that's
foot longs, huh?
I was just gonna say something about it, too, fam. You beat me to it, my guy. You beat me to it. You quick on your feet. You quick on your feet, man.
so,
You beat me to it. Well, I tell you, I'm finna act
so
6 inches of football, goddamn. What are you going for?
Right.
Yeah.
needless to say, I never did find nobody. And I remember, Pops, I spoke with your wife and I told her, and I was like, she said it. And your wife was like, very much, okay, sis, if you say so. People have spoken this and none of it came true. So let's fast forward some more. One of the things I keep hearing a lot from men, God told me that you're going to be my wife. And then they'll have the lowercase g, God, or they just like they just this is the same thing I have been getting for so long. You're gonna be my wife, God says so. So these are the visions that these people are telling me, and it's not true. I'm not gonna be with y'all. Stop saying this, okay? This is played out game. It does not work. Leave me alone. But guess what? Even after they seen this, they still gonna slide in my DM saying God said that. No, for real, because I quoted the
God
Bible.
don't operate like that.
This is
No, you
what.
gotta.
Oh, I read the book of Enoch. We was traveling like Enoch was to heaven in my dream.
Man, look, God don't do that. I can actually tell
You
you.
gotta.
I can
You
actually
gotta.
tell you this. When I got married, it was God. Okay, I can honestly say that. I wasn't planning on getting married. Actually, it happened. I got shot 10, 10, 12, okay? 10, 10, 12, I got shot. My daughter's birthday is 10, 9. So they shot me for my baby's birthday. Either way it go, fucked up on it. You feel me now? See how I threw that shit in? You feel me, huh?
They trying to
Like,
ruin your birthday. They trying to ruin the baby birthday party.
hey, but guess what? Guess what? They did not knowing what they were doing to themselves because they just put an exclamation mark on everything. You feel me? But at the same time, I'm in the hospital and I'm like, out the blue, like, wanna get married? She was like, what? I said, yeah, you've been talking about doing this anyway. I've been putting you off and shit, so fuck it, let's do it. Nigga finna kill me around this bitch. I'm trying to experience everything. You see what I'm saying? She was like, okay, shit, let's do something. I said, no, we finna do it quick. She was like, why? I don't know why. But here's a true story, my friend, true story. 12/08/12. Mind you, I got shot 10/10/12. 12/08/12 was my marriage, my wedding day.
2 months later.
2 months later. I paid for every single thing that took place, and nobody had to worry about nothing. That way, it could take place like that. You see what I'm saying? I ain't have to, nobody just. I don't think I needed your body. You feel me? And that's what happened. So we had a nice wedding, everything was cool. But the reason I say all this is to get here. 6 months later, from October, the following spring in March, okay, a lot of other things took place in my life. And when that stuff happened, she no longer could be a part of it whatsoever. Just because we were married. Now, I know in my heart certain things, and I tell you, if it had to come down to it, that motherfucker would have put me under jail. Because she wouldn't have been, she ain't that type of chick. You see what I'm saying? If she would have had to get on the stand, she would have put me under jail. She ain't that type of chick. And you couldn't have blamed her because you don't expect the gangster to be an angel or an angel to be a gangster. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, because we were married, she couldn't testify against me on nothing. You see what I'm saying? And I really believe that was God telling me what to do during that time. Because I asked him to walk me through that situation prior to it even happening. I asked him to do all of that. So when it happened, I asked him to guide me through it. You got to show me what to do now. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? And he actually told me to marry that chick, right? He really did. So I can understand people doing it for certain reasons, but just a nigga sliding on you like Kyndra, you know, nigga sliding on you talking about, yeah, basically God told me I'm going to do you in tonight. You know what I'm saying?
You know
so
what?
you think that shooting put an urgency on your life?
Huh?
Well, hold on,
So
say
the
that
shooting
again,
pretty much put an urgency on your life and put a stamp on it, like this is what you're supposed to be doing. So if it wasn't for you getting shot, you might not even took that route. You know what I mean?
Well, to be honest with you, I was about to. I was living separate. We were living separately. And I actually had a homeboy staying with me at the time. He was going through some things, and I was telling him, I say, fam, I'm gonna go up here where, you know, my little chick at here in a few months. I kind of want my place to myself, you know, for these last few months before I go up there. You know, whatever we gotta do to get you situated, we will. But yeah, I was about to go up there and chill anyway. So I ain't gonna say that didn't happen, but I think the urgency of it was the fact that that other thing was going to take place. And that's something I didn't know about. I mean, I don't see why it would have been so urgent for us to get married in 2 months when I'm laid up in the hospital fucked up. You see what I'm saying? I literally was, you know, had to get a nigga the crutches, and my best man helped me down the aisle, fam. You know, we could have gotten married the next summer. It would have been the same thing. I would have been in better shape, you know, everything. So why it was boom, let's do it right now, right now, right now. Why everything fell in place? That's why I say it had to be God. You, as a Christian, you don't get to choose. As a Christian, you don't get to choose what He has His hand in. You don't get to choose what He will or will not work out. You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna believe that your car gonna start in the morning, you're gonna believe that He can fix your relationship. You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna believe this or that, you gotta believe this or that. You can't just take the good things that you think He gonna do that we take for granted every day, because when you sit on that chair every day, fam, it ain't guaranteed to sit up for you. But you got it in your heart that every time you sit on that bed or lay on that bed, it's gonna hold you up, right?
Yep.
You gotta have that same faith in God about whatever you do, cuz.
Come on.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's the route he took me to do it. I was obedient enough to do that. And at the end of the day, it served a great purpose, man. It served a great purpose, you know. And I
Right.
try to tell people that he will talk to you in mysterious ways. You don't have to be in the church 100 miles an hour. You don't have to be, on your knees 24/7 and this, that, and the other all the time. If you are his chosen one and he got something for you, if it ain't your time, whatever the case is, you got an eye to see and an ear to hear. He'll put it on your mind, and you just gotta be obedient to it, first.
Yep. Absolutely. But some people that's talking to her, they listen to the devil. That's
Exactly. Those are those false prophets in that question we talking about.
Man, please. While we still on the word, let me go ahead and hit us with question two. Question two. So, Pops, I'll start with you. Why do people want to say that the Bible is a lie, but turn around and ask tarot cards what they're doing tomorrow?
Um, those people kind of fall in a category called special.
Small yellow
Yeah,
bus.
it's a whole category of them. It's called special,
They represent
genuinely
themselves.
special, or what I like to call genuinely stupid. You know what I mean? So you don't have to call them stupid or anything, but you just like, oh my God, you're special, you're genuine. You know what I mean? You don't have
I
to
love it.
miss
Call them different. Just call them
because
different, fam. They understand.
yeah. It's different, special, genuine, genuinely stupid. I mean, you don't have to use the last part. You know what I mean? But yeah, but
Right.
you can't. I mean, the whole creator, you looking around, you can't just say, hey, it's not nothing out here. But go to somebody talking about, oh, a tarot card, or go off your astrology sign or something. I mean, just something crazy. You know what I mean? You have to
Hmm.
have something deeper than just some surface. But other than that, like I said, those people are just generally
They
special.
special. Okay. All right, pimp. Same
And like
same
for
question.
you to even argue with them, that makes you special also. So you just kind of they tell you just agree your head, like go ahead. Hmm.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to straddle the fence a little bit here for a purpose, you know. Yeah, I'm from Louisiana, so that tarot card
The
reading.
voodoo, we from the voodoo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
okay.
see what I'm saying? All that, that comes into
Ah,
play a little bit. Now I'm gonna tell you this. If again, as Christians, we don't get to choose what we believe or not believe in. So, God did give people special gifts. You understand? The way they choose to use those gifts, may not be in the right order. But he will give a person a special gift now. You know what I'm saying? So whether that gift be right or wrong, we got to know that he's capable of doing that. Why you would choose to listen to that particular person instead of him is the question. You know what I'm saying? That should put no other God before him. So if you believing in him and what he gonna say and do, then that's what you believe in. You don't go asking no deck of cards or no chicken with the blood dripping off of them and tell you what's gonna happen or this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that gets a little wicked right there. God is definitely gonna be the foreseer of my future. I definitely won't go seeking no counsel from anywhere else either. So
mhm.
we pray to a faith that we don't see, that we just believe in. So you got to believe that people that believe in what they believe in, they do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And who's to
Hey,
say? Who's to say that they devil or they God don't exist in their world? We don't know that because
it
we're not a
does.
part of their world. You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean, it makes
we're just
sense.
not a part of their
It really
world.
does for them.
Hmm. It makes sense. So I just pray all that away from me, man. It's crazy, but it's true. That spiritual thing get real deep. It get real deep. And spiritual warfare is real. It's very real. So be aware of it.
All right.
Okay. Let me go ahead. And I had to write this. I said, let me go ahead and start writing some of these answers down. Let me come a little bit more prepared. Because the thing is that a lot of times when I think of, of course I've already had these questions, beforehand, thought of them, but there's always some things I'm like, oh, I wish I could have said that. So this is what I wrote. Okay. So as
Mhm.
far as the question, first off, people don't want to read something. Most people, I don't want to say most people, there are people out here who don't want to read something and learn from it. Okay. They rather just go ahead and be told, which might be a reason why so many will just go to church. Okay. Again, think about it like this. They rather be told what it says and what it means without doing their own critical thinking about it. And then asking Abba, which means Father, what does this mean? Right? Like, that's why you have to honestly read the word for yourself and be like, okay, God, what does this mean? All right, let me keep on going on. All right. So it's kind of like the term an eye for an eye. It might mean something to you one way, Pops. It might mean another definition to you, and it might mean something to me. Okay. So, and then on top of that, there are a lot of people out here who will quote what a preacher says instead of what the Bible says. And you know how dangerous that is? I used to be that same person. I would sit here, take what somebody said. I'm like, oh, it does say that. It does say that. Now, in my mind, I'm like, oh, it does talk about that in Psalms. And there's nowhere in the Bible where it speaks about that in Psalms. Like, Psalms got like, well, I think 119 chapters or whatever else it may be. People can say whatever and it come from Psalms because nobody's going to really take the time to really analyze all that. Right.
Mhm.
So continuing on, um, they'll listen to tarot cards because these are people. Again, they're telling you this. They might say something like, "Oh, tomorrow's gonna rain. Tomorrow's gonna rain. You're gonna get wet." Yeah, okay, because I'm pretty sure you watched the news and it told you that. Okay, like I'm pretty sure. And then people would rather they rather tell you what's going on than to read what's going on. Just kind of reiterating that again. All right. So
Mhm.
it's easier, right? It's easier. These are not tarot cards. These are puff puff pass. These are my puff puff pass cards. Right.
Oh,
So
faster card. Okay.
yes, these are my puff puff pass cards. All right.
If
So
you ever have a chance to talk to somebody about tarot reading or something though, before they start to try to tell you about the future or some shit, tell them to
yeah.
validate themselves by telling you something about your past.
I mean,
If
I'm
they can
sure that
validate something about your past, tell them to tell you something about your past that only you would know. Since they so good, since
hey,
they know everything,
hey,
don't tell me what's gonna happen tomorrow, next week. Tell me what happened about 5 years ago.
So, have you ever had a tarot card reading saying
well,
that you
hold
are
on.
free
I'm
will?
about to get to that. Hold on, I'm about to get to that. Right.
Okay.
So listen. So listen, they'll get one of these cards and they're gonna be they'll say something like, oh my gosh, like this is the hangman. Okay. It means that you either hung up on somebody or you stuck in between two places. And he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm both. I am hung up on somebody. How did you know that? And I'm stuck in between two places right now. How did you know that? So so again, I say all that to say the thing about when it comes with tarot, psychics, mediums, what I've realized, and let me tell you, one time I did actually, I went to a psychic's house. I knocked on her door. She said, "Who is it?" So I left. Anyway. So
Fucking right. Bitch supposed to
so
know
I
what it is, right? Since you know everything, bitch.
come on now. So what I would say is this about tarot. Like the thing about it is that they give you just enough. Like when it comes with sidekicks and mediums and all those type of people, they give you just enough hope to tell you what is possibly going on right now. Right? Just like okay, they may end up saying, and they might end up getting a couple things about your past correct, but they're not going to be able to tell you anything about what's on the future. People want immediate results now. A lot of folks are impatient. They're not going to sit here and wait on God. Like, for example, look at how many people took. That's why the Bible says, lean not on thy own understanding, but in all thy ways trust in the Lord your God. And so look at Abraham and Sarah. Hey, God said, Abraham, you are going to end up having your promised child. they laughed at that, and guess what? They decided to take matters into their own hands, and he ends up getting his side chick pregnant. And so look at what all that crap that ended up happening. So there are so many different examples in the Bible where people will end up taking. Oh shoot, thing had failed. My light had failed, but people will end up taking. They will end up taking the Bible, not the Bible. They'll end up taking matters into their own hands and pretty much wonder why their life is in shambles. Now, Pops, to answer your question about have I ever gone to a psychic, of course. Like I used to do witchcraft. Like I was
What?
heavy into witchcraft.
What in the Black Harry Potter is going on?
I used to do
Mm.
witchcraft, right? And so for me, yeah, like I
You
literally I
you
would do
created
go to
dowels,
psychics. What's Dow's? What is that?
like you cut the hair off while they sleep and put on the dowel and poke them or something.
No, I was going to try to do that. Like I literally, my mind was racing on what to do next, right? But the thing about it is all that type of stuff. As soon as you leave a psychic, like I said, the hangman example. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to come back. Well, make sure you got your deposit. Like these people. Listen, this is my motto, or not my motto. This is what I will say. If you want to get rich, go be a psychic, go be a medium, or go start a religion. Okay, that is how.
Wow.
That's how all these people end up becoming who they are. That's it. That's all you got to go do, right? Like it's. I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick story. How I went to a psychic. I actually went right after church. That was the hilarious part, right? I went
Wait a
right
minute, you
after
bypassed the preacher and went to keep going.
because I couldn't my preacher, I could not, anyway, that was a mega church, so no, he wasn't, no.
Oh yeah, he
um
wasn't accessible.
exactly. So I'm gonna tell you what it was. I was wanting to actually I went to a psychic. I used to actually live in a house where I was living with mediums and warlocks and witches, right? And so
What?
I say
This definitely sounds like a Harry Potter episode. Keep going.
this is a true story.
Harry Potter in the Kyndra Corner show.
Yes.
Shit.
So okay, so here's what happened. First time I went to a psychic, I remember this is when I was trying to get a pharmacy job. I wanted to be like a pharmacy technician. And so I kept filling out applications. I literally went to the bank to get stuff notarized. I did everything. I took tests. I spent all this money. And I'm like, bro, God, I am trying. I'm trying. Why won't you give me this pharmacy tech job? I'm not going to sit here and sell no perks off the streets or nothing like that. I am going to be that responsible
Shit.
adult. Come on now.
Shit.
So with that being said, God wasn't answering fast enough for me, right? So I said I'm gonna go to the psychic. I went to the psychic, and I, like I said, that was a question I wanted to know. She's like, I'm seeing. This is how she was doing. She's like, I'm seeing. You can try this pharmacy, and that's the first place runner up. The second place is this. Third place is that. And then I said, okay. Still, it still just was not. It wasn't. It was not. None of it was true. I remember the medium I went to because I had this thing where I said I'm tired of men who look like a squirrel with a trash bag wrapped around their face trying to talk to me. I want to find men. So I went to the medium to see if he could make some type of potion for me to drink so I can attract only fine men because I was so tired of it, right?
This
And
sounds like you should be doing this in Louisiana. You should have just went to go visit him. Like you in Atlanta, you can't. That's not authentic.
yeah, I should have. Yeah. And he was gonna make it for me, and then God blocked it from happening. So yes, I have actually had those encounters. What about y'all? Have y'all had the encounters?
I
I say
think I
stay
called.
away from that type of business.
I think I called once when I was like 18. Like, I used to have those money numbers back in the day. I was like, asked them like, what chick should I be with? They're like, what's your sign? He was trying to go off the sign the whole time. The other one was already pregnant by another dude. So I just pretty much left that out. You know what I mean? It's all
Oh no.
bullshit.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
God,
I'm
God
quiet.
over,
Of
here
course.
over your eye, here over your eye with your actions, and that's what I've
Yeah,
always done. Once I ask Him for eyes to see and ears to hear, and when I ask Him to reveal something to me, the scary part is He will. And I'm talking about it don't take long no more. That's just like karma. Karma now comes the next day or two. You know what I'm saying? You fuck over somebody today, you fuck around and get ran over on the way home. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or, some shit like that. But real talking, and if you really in tune with your spiritualism with God and you and him on that level, you ask him to reveal something to you, he'll do it. And as that person with him, you have the right to ask him to act speedily, do this kind of fast. I need you to show me this now. I don't need you to wait. You know what I'm saying? I need to know now
hmm
before I do something different or whatnot. You know what I mean? He'll show it to you real quick, like, and that's when it gets scary. He's put some light in my eyes to where that other side has shown himself to me. So I stay away from all that other, stuff because I know it exists. You know what I'm saying? I've seen distorted faces, demonic faces and stuff, and it's scary. It's
yeah,
very scary. So, when you start getting into that type of realm, you start asking God to show you stuff, be aware of it, be careful of it, but also take heed. I promise you, as much as I love this one particular person, I asked him to show me something, and he showed me that in that particular person. I promise you, I have not seen or spoken to that person again. It's just that scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put a demand on it. Put your word out there. God is attracted to sound.
You don't have to go to no psychic. The psychic don't know nothing. If you into, like I say, if you got God in your life, that's what you got to learn, and that's what I was gonna close with. I say, but go ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say the last words, and we can go ahead and close out.
Okay. Well, this year I'm working on patience and consistency. Every year I try to give myself a couple of things to work on to try to better myself. The last few years I've been working on the three ends of life. I call them, which is nothing and nobody negative. Don't let nothing, nobody negative come into your world to deter you from what you're trying to do. And now I've been working on patience and consistency, and trying to implement that with my thing with God, because He's not gonna give you what your heart desires until He know you can take care of it and do right by it. And at the same time, you have to be consistent in what you're trying to do for him to even manifest things in your life. Because, like you say, you get to where you want to happen tomorrow, and the next day you're not happy. You're gonna take it into your own hands. Sometimes He's gonna put that out there to see if you're gonna be able to do that or not. Resist it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to do that. And on the other tip of relationships and all the false spirits and false prophets, man. Speak life over your children, speak life over your family members, speak life over your spouses. Rebuke the demons and rebuke the devil, because they are out there every single day. They trying to grasp what you love. They're trying to take what you got, destroy it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. What's going on out there in the world. Make sure you implement God over your family, over your household, your personal relationship with God. You are the church. Whenever you go somewhere, somebody ought to see God in you. Not just when you go to a building where other people gonna act the same way. Your body is a temple. Your body is the church. Take God with you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go.
Facts. Word to the wise.
Yes.
No doubt.
No
Amen.
doubt. No
Amen.
doubt.
Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys. We did it. We made it. You learned something new about me, and it was crazy. But hey, I love y'all, and I know y'all still love me. And good thing is, I'm
That's
out of
right.
witchcraft because Jesus saved me. All right,
That's right.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
we're out. We
Tabernacle.